Hello, everyone. How are you doing? And happy St. Patrick's Day. Are you wearing green? I tried to make sure that I was wearing green today. Um, and I was like, oh, what green do I have? And I only have two. But this is like the true green rather than my other one's more of a tealy green. So yeah. Okay, I see we already have some comments. So let's go to the comments and then I will tell you why I'm reading a Christmas book and what Christmas book I'm reading. So we have Dina here. Hi, everyone. I am reading The Mad Wife by Megan Church. I've never heard of that book, but I hope you enjoy it. And thank you for joining in. And then we have Bethany. Hi, everyone. I have 44 pages left in The Gold in These Hills. That is by Anne H. Gabbard, isn't it? Maybe? I say that and now I'm debating myself. 44 pages. You should finish that tonight, right, Bethany? Hi, Vanessa. Good evening to all. This is my first time here when the sprints start. Well, nice. And Jamie is here. Hello. And Em is here. Hi, Em. And Alma. Hello, everyone. I'm going to be finishing up Why the Sky is Blue tonight. I want answers, Alma. Why is the sky blue? She only has 2 chapters left, so you should finish that tonight too. So I am reading Tricking Christmas on my Kindle. So this is the cover. I don't know how well you can see that. Maybe a little bit. Basically, I have a lot of contemporary romance, or not contemporary romance, but romantic suspense left on my March TBR. But my audiobook is a romantic suspense, so I can't read a romantic suspense physically if I'm listening to a suspense. I try not to do that as much as I can. And since I finished the Golden Filly collection I was reading last week, so I finished this Sunday. You'll find out my thoughts in tomorrow's video. But I was really in the horse mood. And Tricking Christmas was on my March TBR because it was one that the wheel chose for me. It is, I want to say book 11. It doesn't say on here. No, book 12, it does say, of the Rodeo Romance series. And I love that series so far. And we've also seen appearances from characters from other series or mentions of characters from a historical series set in Pendleton, Pendleton. I don't know how to say that. Oregon. Yeah, so I'm enjoying it, but I'm only 30% in on chapter 6. I feel like these chapters are really long in this one. Okay, let's go back to the comments now. So Bethany says it's by Joanne Bishkoff. Okay. See, I debated and had a feeling as soon as I said it, I wasn't right. Hi, Jamie. I am book hopping tonight. First book, The Surgeon by Tess Grierson. Second book is Buried by Elizabeth Goddard. And the third book is probably going to be by Lynette Eason. Well, I need to know what Lynette Eason book. Come on, Jamie. Hi, Gina. And Tanya is here. Hello, everyone. Started reading today Without a Clue by Melissa Ferguson. And with no E. I like that. Hi, I'm reading The Railway Children by E. Nesbitt. Nice. And Jamie, I've just finished 2 books, so I'm not sure what I am reading next. Well, do you have options? We could help you choose. Hi, Paige. I am reading Mind the Gap by Erin Magnum. I need to get to that one. Lucy and Celestia, and I think Lindsay as well, have really hyped that book. And I'm like, I need to read that one. And it's set in England. Like, yeah. Vanessa, I am reading The Inklings Detective Agency and A Botanist's Guide to Parties and Poisons. I finished The Atonement Child last night. Well, good for a finish. And Rachel, hello. I hope to finish The Atonement Child by Francine Rivers tonight. About 100 pages left. Ooh, you can do that, right? And Jeannie is here. Hi. So needed the sprint. It's already been a busy week for me. Oh, it's only Tuesday. Reading A Case of Briar by Mary Daheim. About a quarter left to read, and one of the last of hers I haven't read yet. Ooh, nice to read an author to zero. And Mary Beth is here. Hi, I'm reading Midnight on the Scottish Shore by Sarah Sundin and The Huntress by Carrie Cotton. Nice. And Jackie, I am reading Tacos for Two by Betsy St. Amant. Nice. Okay, Jamie said, always watch it. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's part of the the Bodyguard series. I don't think that's what the series is called. It's got mainly a white cover with, yeah. I liked it. I like that series. I just can't think of the series name. And Jamie, loved Without a Clue. Nice. And Anne, hi. Hope everyone is doing well. I will hopefully get a lot read in The Railway Children by E. Nesbitt. Anne with no E was my other page. Oops. Okay, so you're the same Anne. Nice. Jamie, I have so many options. Yeah, well. Hi, Allie. Good evening. I'm reading Runaway Bride and Prejudice by Emma St. Clair. I think I'm around 80%. Paige, yeah, Lucy recommended it to me. Yeah, totally. Hannah, no, I'm not wearing green today, but I dressed my son in green. Well, there you go. And Tonya said it's pretty good so far, Jamie. And Jamie, I may start The Atonement Child or the second Mandy book. And Jamie, sorry, forgot to say hello. Hello. Nice. Hannah says, Jamie, I devoured The Atonement Child. Interesting. And Jamie says, it's the Elite Guardian series. See, I knew it wasn't the name of the series. I could totally picture the cover and everything, but yeah. Good, thank you. Hannah, Bethany, I really enjoyed The Gold in These Hills. And Hannah is going to try to continue in Max in the House of Spies. Are you liking it any more than you were, Hannah? So, Jamie, I finished The Lady of Galway Manor by Jennifer Dybel and Pride and Prejudice in Space. Pride and Prejudice in Space. That is such an interesting title. And Bethany, Hannah, I like it. My first book by Joanne Bishkoff. Is there another one of hers that you'd recommend? Hey, Hannah, what do you think? I've only read one Joanne Bishkoff, and it's kind of the one that everybody really raves about, The Lady in the Lionheart. And I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't love it like everybody else, but I did enjoy it. But yeah. Okay. So I'm like, my clocks don't match. Why do my clocks not match? Oh, that's funny. Because I was looking at two different things. That's why. Okay, so when we get to 10 after, we're going to do a 30%. And Hannah says it's okay. Yeah, that's sad when a buddy read book club choice like that doesn't, you don't fall in love with it. What else? So today was a relatively good day. They were calling for a snowstorm. This, like last night when I went to bed, the weather app said like a winter storm warning, and it was at an orange level, which is worse than a yellow level. And they were saying anywhere from 20 to 40 centimeters. When we got up this morning, there was like a dusting. Like, didn't have to shovel the driveway to get out or anything. I did have to shovel at work, just like the entrance, just so people weren't tracking all the snow in. But it was nothing compared to what they were calling for. And I'm like, okay. And then we had an appointment after work, and the appointment went really well. And yeah, so it's been a good day, other than I was battling a headache a little bit, but it seems to have gone. So I'm excited to sit down and get some reading done. And Jamie says, I recommend The Lady in the Lionheart. It's the only one I've read by her. And M will be crocheting and listening to a podcast about Bleak House. Nice. Well, now that you read the book, right? Hannah, and I've only read The Gold in These Hills by her. So we have The Gold in These Hills and The Lady and the Lionheart are the only two books that people have read by her. So here, anyways. So yeah. Okay, well, let's go into a half-hour sprint. So we'll sprint till 40 after. And I found this ambient room that is somewhat St. Patrick's-ish. It's green and ivy rather than, but we'll see. Okay, I need to start this. Okay, so happy reading, everyone. Okay, so that is the end of our first sprint. How did everyone do? I got 6% read. I went from 30% to 36%, which was one chapter and maybe a page or two. Nope, a page. As I said, these chapters are long. Where was I? Where were we? There we go. Okay, so Jamie said, I'm in the minority, but I enjoyed the Heart of Bennett Hollow. That's by Joanne Bishkoff. I do know that. And Paige says, I am forever traumatized about when St. Patrick's Day is. My mom, dad dressed me all in green, did my hair and everything, then sent me to school the day before St. Patrick's Day. Oops. Oh, yes, that would leave you a little traumatized. Em said, it is hot here, 89 degrees. Em, I'm coming to visit you. Oh my. I have a headache, mostly due to little sleep and stress because I hosted a potluck at work. Hannah, a potluck at work sounds fun. Jamie said, I got to hop off for dinner. I will hop back on when done. Well, enjoy your dinner. You're probably already gone. Paige, I hope you feel better. And yes, hope you feel better too. And Gina, I love that ambience. A cup of tea with a St. Patrick's cupcake and a book sounds amazing and cozy, right? I showed it to my husband earlier because I was like, well, this is what I'm thinking of using. Do you think this is Ireland themed enough, like St. Patrick's Day? And he's like, it's pink. Ignore that part of the cushion. Christina, hello. I am reading One Last Shot by Susan May Warren. That is her new release, right? I think so. Hi, Annie. I am reading The Bronze Bow by Elizabeth George Spear, a YA biblical fiction. And Alma finished her book. Yay! So good. It is Susan Meisner's debut novel, so it is for Jeanette's March Prom. Nice. And Chloe, hello, Chloe. Quickly getting cozy in fresh PJs, then I'll be reading Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Well, enjoy. And Lucy stopped in. She's at work and she's crying. Bethany said hi to Lucy. And Lucy has to close, so she'll miss all the fun. And Lucy, when I get home, I will be reading The One with the Kiss Cam by Cindy Steele. I have less than 100 pages left to read, so I'm hoping to finish it tonight. Okay, so you better not still be reading that tomorrow. And Kay, hello. I'm reading Fellowship of the Ring. Just started chapter 2, so you're very early on. Anne got 22 pages read. Jeannie got 2 chapters read. Jamie didn't read, because Jamie, have you decided on the book yet? Bethany, I have 13 pages left of my book. Okay, you'll finish it the next sprint. And hi, Amy just hopped on. Tanya got 4 chapters read. Jackie got 49 pages read. That's impressive. Good for you. Mary Beth got 22 pages, and Allie made it to 85%. And Dina, I read 1 page before my dog started acting up. Nice. And I need to start Fellowship. I received my new crochet box subscription, so I went through that. Then I couldn't find my crochet project from the last box until 5 minutes ago. Well, next sprint, you can work on it, right? And Chloe is all cozy, and I will read in the next sprint. Okay. Jamie, no. Instead, I updated Instagram. I thought of you immediately, Jamie, because they were going in for dessert and they were having peach cobbler. And I was like, hey, Jamie. Katrina, hi, I'm listening to... I'm not even going to try that, Katrina. At least this first sprint. Might change it after. Okay. And Vanessa, I think I fell asleep. Oops. I mean, body probably needed the rest then. What do you want to chat about tonight? What other updates do I have? So last week when I sprinted with Lucy on the Wednesday, I was talking about like which shirt should I order of the same, how many color tops of the same shirt can I get? And I ended up with 3 in the end. So I already owned one and then I bought 2 more. Why can I not do that with my fingers? So I do show the 2 colors that I got in my weekly vlog that will be coming out tomorrow. So yeah, I decided to be somewhat good and not go crazy, but yeah. And Annie made it to 46%. Good for you. I'm at 36%. And Jamie says, I guess the peach cobbler was a hit. It didn't last long. Well, there you go. See, looks aren't always everything. As long as it's tasty, it doesn't matter what it looks like so much. And Katrina says, I have 5 dresses, same cut, but different patterns. They are so comfy. Yes, exactly. And actually, for dresses, I probably do have a number. Oh, here's a funny. So my husband and I were talking yesterday. We were talking about the shirts and how I bought. I'm going to tell you, I bought another gray one. But I'm like, I probably could wear a different gray top every single day of the week, like sweater wise, like if I need to be warm, and stripes. Okay. So we were talking about this last night. Was it last night? Maybe Sunday night? What day is it? Tuesday? Yeah. So we were talking about this and I'm like, yeah, so I have this one in stripe, this one, and this. Yeah, I probably could wear one every single day. Then I was working on editing last week's vlog, and Monday to Friday, I wore a different striped shirt every single day. And I mean, there are different styles. They're not like the same shirt in different colors. They are different styles. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, I have a few striped tops. So when you watch, see if you can find out. See if you can figure out which ones I wore. If you watch, you don't have to watch it. But yeah, I thought that was really funny because we had just been talking, and I didn't even like. It wasn't like it was planned, and I didn't even realize it until I'm watching back the video, and I was like, oh, yeah. Okay, Gina, speaking of dresses, I'm a bridesmaid and the bride sent us a link for the dress to buy and she told us we could actually choose whatever dress we wanted. It just had to be a certain color. Nice. So like because personally, certain styles suit people differently, right? Different body shapes. And so that's really cool. I've seen a few done that way. Mm-hmm. For my bridesmaids, because I was in Ontario, they were both in Saskatchewan, or one was in Alberta. No, they were both in Saskatchewan when I got married because one has now moved to Alberta. And so we ordered their bridesmaid dresses from the Sears catalog because that way they were the same, but they could get it to their place. And then if they needed alterations, but yeah, because we couldn't go dress shopping together because we weren't together. And Allie, I am drawn to stripes too. I love stripes. I really do. And Katrina said, my sister did that. It was nice to have our different styles but same color. Yeah, I really like that. My two had the same style, but I only had 2, so it wasn't like a ton of them. We had a smaller wedding, but yeah. Okay, well, I'm not feeling that chatty tonight that I can think of things to talk about. I was kind of thinking we could do some trivia, but then I was like, I don't want to be exactly like Lucy. I mean, I do draw, but I'm like, So I don't know. And I know that we're going to be doing some sort of trivia tomorrow on Lucy's channel. So yeah. So we are sprinting tomorrow night. The Pink Hat ladies are sprinting over on Lucy's channel. So there is 6 of us, I think, because Anne's not able to make it. So yeah, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. I don't know the other time zones, sorry. Jamie, I have a dress style that I bought in every fabric pattern I could get in because it's comfy style for work. Yeah. Yep. Now that I really think about it, I have a summer dress that I have at least 4, maybe 5. I don't know. I'll someday this summer I'll wear a week of the same dress in different colors. And Anne said, my bridesmaid dresses came from J.C. Penney. Yep. And Paige, Gina, that is really nice of her. I'm too controlling to do that. And M says, Jamie, I'm sending you my peach cobbler recipe. I just remembered that I was going to do that when I got home. Nice. Okay, well, let's go into another sprint. It's 51 for me, so half an hour would be 20 after. So let's go till 20 after. So we're going to go 29 minutes this time because we just are. Okay, so that's the end of that sprint for now. How did you do? I read 3 chapters that time. So I made it from 36% to 43%. Yay. Some of the chapters were a little bit shorter that time. Okay, so where were we? We have Tori Eve. Hello. I am listening to the Fellowship of the Ring and gaming, crocheting, and cross stitching. Multitasking there. And we have a couple others reading the Fellowship of the Ring as well. And Grandma Susan's here. Hello. What a great turnout. Thank you. Love the ambience. Yay. Good. I was mentioning earlier that my husband thought it had too much pink, and he kind of ignored the green. I was like, really? And Bethany finished my book. Yay. I have this muted for now because my husband is on the phone and I want to listen. It's the missionary we're going to visit in the Philippines. Oh. And Tanya, 28 pages read. Jeannie got 17 pages this time. And Em, my niece is going on a service mission this summer to the Philippines, Bethany. Nice. And Katrina didn't even make it to 1% further, but did some Bible digging in Isaiah and trying to finish canning my broth. Productive, at least. And Elma, I have moved on to reading Emma M. Lyon, Volume 3. So does that mean you finished your other book, Elma? And Mary Beth did some laundry and read 16 pages that sprint. So another productive. And Anne got 24 pages that time, 46 total. Jackie, about 35 pages done, but now I need to do laundry. Wow, 35 pages, I mean, impressed. And Chloe got distracted making banana pudding, read about 15 pages. Nice. And Jamie, now creating a graphic on Canva. And Sammy, hello, Sammy. And Elma, yes, I finished it. Good. And Paige finished my chapter and got dinner leftovers in the freezer for later this month. Nice. Yeah. We're very bad about putting leftovers in the freezer. We just end up eating them a couple days later instead. And then I get like I said to Andrew tonight, because we had it 2 days in a row, and then he's having it for lunch tomorrow. And there's still, I mean, there's probably enough for one of us to have it leftovers again. But I'm like, I'm done. I've had enough of this for a while. I mean, he'll probably eat it for days if I let it, like if we had enough, but yeah. Alma, I need to start volume 3. I'm waiting for April though. And Sammy, next sprint, I will be writing in my reading journal because I am behind. I am also behind. So when I got to the end of the chapter, I didn't want to start another chapter, so I thought I'll update my reading spreadsheet, and I know my reading journal needs to be entered for the 2 books I finished last week. So I'm like, I need to work on that. And I need to see how behind on reviews I am because, yeah, I was hoping to get caught up this weekend, and then I don't think I really sat at my computer this weekend. I read, and I did clean out some other stuff, so yeah. And Tanya, how is everyone doing with the March reading challenges, and what challenges are you all doing? So for myself, I've loosely participated in middle grade. I read Golden Filly, but she's 16, so I don't think that's really middle grade, but that's what I'm counting as middle grade. And it actually would work for a few of the prompts because their siblings in the book. A few of the prompts, that's one prompt. That's funny. That's the only one. And the other one is March Mystery Madness, but I wasn't really actively participating in that one, but I am reading a few suspense books this month, or I will be reading a few suspense books this month. Yeah. Have I read any? Oh yeah, Canyon of Deceit. was a suspense book. And then my audiobook is Obsession by Patricia Bradley, and that's suspense. And then I have a few more to read yet. So we'll see how it goes. But I have a question about, speaking of challenges, but I'm going to go through the comments and then I'll ask my question. So Paige says, I made a double batch. We had chickpea curry with rice. And Alma, the book I finished was for Jeanette's March prompts, both actually. Nice. I like it when you're able to combine the prompts. That's awesome. And Gina, thank you. Sammy, I'm going to update my reading journal now too. And Allie, why did I'm combining names. I'm like, what's that called? My mom did that all the time. We became Jeanette all the time because Jeanette and Jarrett, and constantly we were called Jeanette. Okay, and Alma, I have read 1 mystery so far and 3 middle grade books. Good for you. And Chloe, I am not doing any March specific challenges this month, but I've only got a book and a half left on my TBR. Well, good for you. For the month, not my whole TBR. Yeah. And Paige says, I am not doing any challenges this month. So my challenge for April, one is a healthcare worker involved. So like one of the characters needs to be a healthcare worker, preferably a main character. But I mean, if they go to the hospital and they run into a nurse, well, okay. Then the second one is just from your favorite genre. So I'm trying to track, where is my, is that what April is? Yes, favorite genre. I was like, is that the second one? So I'm trying to work on some recommendations videos, and I have an idea for favorite genre, like how I'm going to provide recommendations, because my favorite genre might not be your favorite genre. And I've already done like a few videos with, these are my favorite suspense, these are my favorite historical. So I do have a plan for that one. But healthcare worker, I'm struggling with that one a bit to find. I have some recommendations. Possibilities is what I'm struggling at. So please share with me one book that you would recommend for a healthcare worker. And what kind of profession do you, when you hear healthcare worker, what do you think? Like I said nurse in my sample, but what other professions do you think for healthcare worker? I'd love to have some input and some help. Okay, and Ellie says, oh, that's hard because I have a lot of favorite genres, right? But I mean, if you read one book, one Christian fiction book from one of your favorite genres, because even I couldn't pick, unless I read a historical suspense, because I love historical, I love suspense. Actually, that might be the best way to combine it. Oh, now I'm thinking of something else for a video idea. Okay. I'm going to read Pelican Point by Irene Hannon for that prompt. Is that? Yes. Okay. So that one has a doctor. I'm like, is that on my list of possibilities? I have read that one, but yeah. Alma says, could you do a book about a midwife? That's actually what I was thinking, because Appalachian Song is a midwife, right? By Michelle Shockley. So that's what I'm thinking. Rachel, I'm planning to read book 2 in the Misty River series by Becky Wade. Good plan. Let It Be Me, I think is book 2. And Alma, I know there are books, World War II, with nurses in them. Yes, that is really my biggest category for recommendations, is nurses, historical fiction, because it's World War II, really. Not always, but majority of the time. Tanya says the main character is an army doctor. Yes. What book were you thinking? Yes. Yeah. This is Heart Surgeon, I think. No, maybe not. Maybe that's, no, never mind. Ignore me there. That's somebody else. So Sammy says, I think of a nurse or doctor for healthcare worker. And Paige says mental health, physical therapists, doctors, surgeons, etc. And Tanya says, how about a book with an apothecary? Apothecary. I know what that word is, but how do I say it? Yes. And M says, Agatha Christie has several doctors, dentists, and some nurses and pharmacists. Yes, but Agatha Christie is not Christian fiction. So it doesn't fit for my bingo prompt. But I mean, you could still. It just doesn't fit for the bingo. And Elma says, the book I was thinking about doing has a midwife and it's historical Christian fiction, so a favorite genre. Ooh. And what book were you thinking of doing, Elma? Or do I need to wait for your video to find out? And nursing home workers, have you read The Incredible Deaths of Mrs. K? I didn't even think about, I have read it, but I didn't even think about nursing home. I'm going to write that one down because I have read that one. Just going to Mrs. Kip because then I will know. Okay, Annie got to 48%. If you can imagine it, my book won the Newbery Award for YA fiction in 1961. It is about a teenage zealot and his relationship with Jesus and shows Jesus in the most favorable light. Interesting. And Gina says, the dad in the Redemption series by Karen Kingsbury is a doctor. Does that count? Yes. Why not? Ooh. Tanya says, could it be a veterinarian? Sure. Huh. What books do I have with veterinarians? I read one recently. It was a Christmas book, though. Huh. Interesting. And Paige says, When Crickets Cry by Charles Martin. The main character is a heart surgeon. Okay. And Sammy, I haven't read books with main characters in healthcare. I really had to think hard for my recommendations because I'm like, okay. I mean, there were some where it was very obvious, like, okay, they were nurses. Like, it was very obvious. But other ones, I was like, what? Right? Like, really had to think about it. Mary Beth says, I look forward to your recommendations video for that prompt. Well, if all goes well, I should have the video out on Saturday. If all goes well. I mean, I haven't filmed it yet, so we'll see. And Tanya says, I think the Hope Harbor series by Irene Hannon has a veterinarian in one of her books. Oh. I was looking at, because I knew there was at least one doctor. There's actually two doctors in two different books in that series. But I was like, I wonder, a veterinarian. I think there is, but what book is it? I'll have to research. So Hope Harbor. My problem is I don't track the jobs. I track where the books are set, but I don't track the jobs. So if it doesn't stand out to me, right? And Amy says, Gilbert Blythe became a doctor. Yes, that was another one I had thought of, but again, it's not a Christian fiction, so it doesn't work for the bingo. But yes, you could just read it. So Alma, you don't have to wait. Those Healing Hills by Anne H. Gabbard, set in the Appalachian to post World War II. Yeah, okay. I wonder, oh no, that's a librarian. I'm like, I have another book by her and I wonder, but it's a Pack Horse librarian. It's got a horse on the cover. Okay. So Anne is asking Annie, what book is that? Sounds good. So Annie was the one that was reading the one that was the Newbery, I think. Yes. So I don't know. I don't remember. And Rachel says, these healing heals. Why can I not say that? These Healing Hills by Angel has a midwife main character. Okay, midwife. Right. And Julie Clausen wrote one about taking care of babies with vernal disease in the 19th century England. Something with milkweed in the title for healthcare worker. Ooh. Okay, so Julie Clausen. Thank you. I need to do some research. Jamie says, I read a whole series set in San, and I don't know how to say that. Alma, has someone said the D. Henderson books, O'Malley series, they have a doctor in one called The Healer? Yes. They also have a paramedic. And does that count as a healthcare worker? I was hesitant about recommending that series because the books that have those characters are much further into the series. Like I think Stephen's book, which is the paramedic, is book 5 or 6, something like that. So I was like, Jamie says the St. Antonio Hospital years ago. Okay. And Paige says, All for Anna by Nicole Deese. A main character is a trauma nurse. I've never heard of that book. All for Anna. I've actually never read Nicole Deese, but I'm very interested to. And Gina loved the heroine in These Healing Hills. Why can I not say that name title? Wow. And Sammy says, oh, Banished by Irene Hannon has a doctor. Ooh, okay. I have read that one, but again, it's been years ago, so I don't remember those things. And I don't own it, so it's not as easy for me to look. Doctor. And Allie says, if some haven't read yet, Timeless #2 in this moment would work for that too. Okay. I have not read any of the Timeless series, so someday. Mary Beth, thanks, Alma. I'll have to check that out. Tanya says, I love the Julie Clausen book. She also has one, The Apothecary's Daughter, too. Hey, I did it better that time. And I just read Christie by Catherine Marshall, and there's a doctor in it. Ooh. Yeah, that's okay. Tanya, I knew what you meant. Okay, Lee says, for healthcare worker, isn't the main character in Lynette Easton's Double Take a physician's assistant or a nurse practitioner? Also, book 2 in that series, the main girl was a medic, a target acquired. Is that the same series? No, that's a different series. But yes, she was a nurse. Because I have Lynette's series. I'm like, I just looked at them and now I can't remember what the series name was. Oh my gosh. Extreme Measures. She has a nurse. Well, no, she has a flight paramedic and an EMS helicopter pilot. So she also has a Double Take and Target Acquired. Okay. Okay. Actually, no, she also has a medic in her other series. Why can I not think of what that series is called either? It's like set in the Midwest. It's not not the Midwest, the Middle East. Oh my gosh. Collateral Damage, I think, is one of them. I'll have to look. I feel like there's a medic in one of them too. Okay, you guys have been great. That's really helpful. I have a few books to look up and a few books to add to my recommendations list. And I'm very curious about a veterinarian. If I can find the book that has one, because I know I've read one. Huh. Okay. Well, now that we're at 9:40 or 40 after, nice even. Oh, wait, there's more comments. And Anne says paramedic is absolutely a healthcare worker. Yeah, totally. And Tanya says Julie Clausen, I love that book. She also has The Apothecary's Daughter. Lynette Eason has some with doctors and nurse. Yes, I just couldn't think of which ones. M, please. I don't know what you're asking, Em. And Allie says Susan May Warren has some medical books too. Yes. I automatically thought of Search and Rescue, but I know that like in her Search and Rescue series, there are definitely, I didn't realize I was knocking my computer. In the Search and Rescue series, there is definitely like some sort of EMS something. It's been so long that I don't remember which character is which book. And Elma, also Life Flight by Eason, I believe. Yes, Life Flight. Well, she's an EMS pilot, helicopter pilot, but she also fills in, right? So yeah. Tanya, Megan Sojo's Secrets of the Revolution is another apothecary story. Jackie, Lynn H. Blackburn's first dive team book has a nurse, so I can't remember. That's okay. It's beneath the surface. Yes. And Lee says Lake City Heroes series by Lynette Eason. Yes. Last of All, Lynn H. Blackburn has a dentist. Yes. Okay, Sandcastle Inn with the vet. Okay, I will look. I will let you know next spring. I will check. Candace Calvert, Mercy Hospitals is a series I was thinking of. Okay. I think I've only read one of those, but Elma said, wait, sorry, not Life Flight. I was thinking of In Too Deep by her. In Too Deep is not by Lynette Eason. In Too Deep is by Lynn H. Blackburn. And that's not, they're not healthcare workers. The main characters aren't healthcare workers. The nurse shows up. Yeah. Okay, so Annie says to Anne, it is The Bronze Bow by Elizabeth George Spear. It was written even before books were labeled Christian fiction because no school would have a problem with it at that time. Yeah. And Tanya, I'm getting ready to read Break My Fall next after I finish my current book. Well, maybe you kind of hold off till April, unless you have more. That was my cat. His paws are reactive and he walked on my phone. Nice. And Jamie says Colleen Coble's book Sanctuary is about a vet. Okay. And would a coroner be considered a healthcare worker? I don't know, because they're not really trying to save the life of somebody or some like an animal or anything. What do you think? Because I can think of two books automatically that have coroners. I don't know. I don't know. Alma, what do you think? I want to know. Okay, Alma says The Female Dentist in Elizabeth Camden's book too. That is a good one. Yes. Paige says The Mountain Between Us by Charles Martin has a doctor. I can't remember what kind though. That's okay. It doesn't matter. And Rachel says, is the male main character in the Annie Patterson trilogy a doctor? I don't know. What does he do? I don't know. I will look that one up as well during the sprint, because that's one that I need to read this year. I will check it out. Allie says, care post health. Oh, I'm curious. Yeah, I wonder. Okay, so now we're at quarter two. So let's go to another sprint. I'm going to mark where we are. And half an hour will be quarter after. Do I have a quarter after? Of course I don't. Do you want to do 35 minutes? Are you okay with 35 minutes? We're going 35 till 20 after. Gives me time to look up a couple of these books. Okay, happy reading, everyone. Okay, that is the end of that sprint. How did you do? I have made it to 51%. So I'm getting there. And right now they're taking photos for a fashion show, and it's really entertaining to see what they're doing. And the grandmother is trying to play a matchmaker and enlist some ladies' helps. Okay, so I did look up the books and I didn't grab the other one. So Sandcastle Inn from Hope Harbor does have a vet in it. And the Annie Pedersen, the guy is an orthopedic surgeon, residency, something. So he's a doctor of some kind. And At Love's Command by Karen Whittemire, the female main character, Josephine, is a doctor. And that is thanks to Anne for sharing that. She messaged me. So yeah, I have a few more. And Lee says, would Appalachian Song count since Birdie was a midwife? I hope so, because that's the one I hope to read. So I'm counting it. Lee says, One Last Shot by Susan May Warren. The main character is an EMT. Okay. Oops. And Christina says, yes, I am reading the Susan May Warren book and enjoying it for so far. It is my first rescue book. Oh, interesting. And Allie finished her book. Yay. And Em says, yay, Allie. And Jeannie got to 20 pages this time. And Em is still plugging away on my crochet project. And Jamie says, I started The Lord is My Shepherd, the Psalm 23 mystery at your recommendation. Ooh, I'll be interested to see what you think. It has been a long time since I read that book, since I started that series. But yeah, I've read it 3 times, book 1, I think. And I do plan on starting it again this year so I can read it through, but we'll see. But I will be very interested to see what you think of that one. It really, really kept me interested. However, I think about that book 1 a lot when I walk into the church building alone. I think about it a lot. And it's been a long time since I read it, so it'll be interesting when it's fresh in my mind again. Yeah. And Jamie says, Dr. Sheni Duvall, OG Christian fiction. I don't know what that is or who that is, I should say. Yeah. And Allie says, speaking of recommendations, I really enjoyed Dear Mrs. Bird, getting ready to read book 2 soon. Oh, awesome. Because right now, like, I liked Dear Mrs. Bird, but book 2 and book 3 are definitely my favorites of that series. I haven't read book 4 yet, but yeah, I don't know. There's just something about the other two. I mean, and I think book 1 was a 4-star. Like, it's not like it was bad, but I mean, I continued the series, so it made me fall in love with the characters. But yeah. Oh, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for Jamie too. I'm excited for a few of you. And Allie says that makes me more excited. Yeah. I have really fallen in love with World War One, World War II fiction in the last few years. Like, I liked historical, but it was like 1800s historical Western, like, think Karen Whittemire type settings. But I've read so many more historical, and yeah. Now I will say, like, World War II can be overdone, but I've also learned a lot of history through it. So yeah. So Jamie says Cheney DeVal in MD is by Gilbert Morris. Okay, from the Knights. I've heard of Gilbert Morris. I've never read Gilbert Morris, but I've heard of him. So, okay, interesting. Interesting. Well, you have definitely helped me with recommendations and possibilities. So my list is much longer than it was when I started. So that's great. And I'm hoping to film that video tomorrow after work. We'll see. We will see. And Annie got to 55%. You're close to me. So Christina says, yes, I was on a historical fiction book marathon, but needed a break. I'm surprised I enjoyed them. Yeah, I've really been shocked at some of the ones I've really enjoyed. Like, yeah, we'll see. It's really funny because I love suspense, and a lot of suspense are contemporary, but I'm not a huge fan of contemporary romance. Like, I don't know what it is about it. I can handle the contemporary in suspense, but I don't like the contemporary when it's just romance. Yet I want romance in my books. It doesn't make any sense. I also really enjoy dual timelines. Like I saw somebody today say, "Oh, this book has too many flashbacks." And I'm like, "No way. No way. You can never have too many flashbacks." I love when we have both, like different times. I love it. I think it really allows to get to know like what's happened in the past, and now you've seen what's happening right now. So just like I feel like I really get to know the characters that way. So yeah, it's funny. I mean, books are different for everybody, right? Everybody likes different things, and yeah. And like for me, one of my least favorite tropes is second chance romance. Now, it doesn't turn me off. Like I will still read because in a lot of books, a lot of books. But I'm just like, hmm. And I mean, I saw a post, it was an author, said something about how, I think it was Elizabeth Camden, I think, but I could be wrong. Said how they like second chance because you know that the characters already have a relationship, they have a history, so you're not starting from scratch. And I was like, well, I guess, but I'm still not a big fan. And Tanya is saying good night, everyone. Thanks so much for the sprints. Well, thank you for joining, Tanya. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow on Lucy Sprints. If not, that's okay too. And Rachel says, when switching between multiple timelines, I find it really hard to get invested. Yeah, I can see that. It really depends for the characters, like if you're interested in those characters. So I think that's why I like flashbacks. I like dual timeline, but I also really love flashbacks because you're with the same characters normally, right? So you get to know, and it's already characters you've probably fallen in love with. And Ellie says there are only a couple scenarios where second chance works for me as well. Yeah, it really depends what it is. Really, I'm more fussy on that for sure. And Em says good night to Tanya. Well, it is 10:30 my time, so 30 after. We're gonna do one last sprint because I want to sign off, and then I want to get my notes so that I can film right after work tomorrow. But I also want to keep reading, and I also want to be in bed by 11:30. Is that going to happen? I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to do one last sprint until the top of the hour, to be 30 minutes. Then we'll say a quick goodnight. And then, yeah, that's the plan. So we're going to sprint till the top of the hour. This will be the last sprint. And if you need to hop off during the sprint, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming and chatting with us. And let's get this added. Okay, happy reading. Okay, so that is the end of our sprints for the night. How did you do? I have made it to 60% in my book. So I went from 30% to 60%. Yay. Oh, I should take off that banner. But my eyes are getting heavy. I need to head to bed. Okay, let's go through these last comments. And M, I want to read, but my head hurts. I need to find an audiobook to listen to. Yeah, that's probably the best when your head's hurting. And Lee says, I love second chance romance because in most books, the romance has to move fairly quickly. So it's easier to believe it's happening so fast when they already have a history together. Yes, I understand that. And that's probably why I like Friends to Lovers more than Second Chance. And Christina headed out. Good night. Lee said, that is a good point. Or M said, that is a good point, Lee. And then she said good night to Christina. And Kelly arrived. Hello, Kelly. And Annie says, is there a quick way to find authors' debut novels? I usually get my books at the library, so if I pick new books, I will be waiting a long time as there will be holds. Maybe someone has a list. I had a recommendations video earlier this, I guess, February for some authors' debut books, but like that's only a handful of authors. I would say Google a certain author to find out what their debut book is. If you know you like certain authors, I'm not aware of a list. And Ellie, no reading, lots of Goodreads browsing. Yes. And Paige, Knight, thanks for the sprints. And Night All, thanks for the sprints. Well, thank you for coming, everyone. And Kelly read a chapter of Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. It's my first time reading it. I've never read that, I don't think. And we've got another finish. Jeannie finished A Case of Briar by Mary Daheim. I don't know how to say that. And Jamie, I'm about to go. Good night. Jackie, thanks for the sprint. I got laundry folded and made it to page 175 in my book. Good for you. And Gina, good night and God bless. Thanks for the sprints. Jeannie, thanks for the sprints. So glad to get back in the groove. And Mary Beth, I think I read about 9 chapters tonight. That was fun. Good. Annie says I will check out that video. Vanessa, check out Fantastic Fiction. You can type in an author and it will give you their list. Yes. Right. That is another site. Yeah. So there you go, Annie. There's a few sources. So tomorrow night, I will be sprinting on Lucy's channel with a group of ladies. And so it's at 8 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock Central, and then whatever, I don't know what time that is for the Pacific, for M, for example. But yeah, come join us. It should be a fun evening. And M says, Annie, not debut, but Libby will filter out to book 1 of a series. There you go. Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining and have a great night and day and take